What up, folks? I'm Ultrazilla, and today I have a review of the TAKARA TOMY Transformers SYNERGEX Godzilla and Transformers Megatron type Godzilla. That's right, my zillions. Part of the T-Spark initiative, which I don't know if it really means anything anymore. I think it's just some like fancy design they decided to put on stuff to make everything feel a little more special. I just don't feel like SYNERGEX, T-Spark, it's a lot of words and marketing babble that, whatever, it doesn't mean much. Anywho, we finally got a Godzilla X Transformers, and it's this. We don't know all about this. The fact that they made this into just a repainted Grimlock with a Megatron head, because you need a Megatron and a Godzilla to face off. Whatevs. Do we really need it? I guess. Whatevs. That part doesn't bother me that much. But, yeah, this is about as much as they can do. And that part bothers me a little bit, because it definitely signals to me that Bandai like kind of put a stop on this being any more than this. Licensing, or just, you know, just them putting a kibosh on it. Because I don't think, the more I thought about it, it's a Toho thing. I think it's more of a Bandai having that exclusive right in Japan. Now, like, you go, but there's other companies that make Godzilla figures, like Super 7. Super 7's a US company. Or like Hayatoys. Hayatoys is a Chinese company. There's no other Japanese, you know, company making kind of this scale figure, short as the Nendoroids, but now by Good Smile, and that's a Japanese company, but those are small. So, and there's other smaller things. I feel like this is like a scale of like what Bandai does with SH Monster, so that could have been a factor. This is just me speculating, because every other SYNERGEX looks amazing except this, and I don't think Takara would fumble Godzilla and Transformers. This is an opportunity to take two of the biggest brands around and combine them. So I don't think it's on Takara here. I think this is beyond Takara. I think it's more than likely and not necessarily a Toho thing, but more than likely a Bandai thing. That's what I think. Anywho, this is the box. If you didn't see my unboxing of this, it's a pretty cool box. It combines with the other box. Not combines, but you know, if you could put them together with the Optimus Kiryu, which we will be looking at in a separate review. But without any further ado, let's get to this review. And here is Mega Grim Godzilla out of the package. Type Megatron type Godzilla, whatever you want to call it. Before we get to it, let's look at what we got here. We got a gun. We got Grimlock's gun here. It's a very nice gun if you haven't seen it. Welcome, Kaiju fans, and welcome, Transformers fans, whichever side of the aisle you come from. Welcome to you all. I got mine on HLJ.com, should you have wanted to know. I got them both on HLJ. And I thought the price was pretty decent overall. Anywho, nice gun. This one is done in silver, nice silver paint. I'll bring in Megs here. Mega Godzilla. And yeah, there you go. We also get some effect parts, which is not standard for this Grimlock, if I remember correctly. In blue, to evoke Godzilla's breath effect. You know, you could use it in any sort of way, but there you go. You could use this to pop on the gun as well. It's not going to really stay well like that, but, you know, the smaller they are, the better they are. So you could do maybe one of those. Doesn't really stay on the gun too well, but yeah, you could do stuff. I think it works fine. We'll look at these further in a bit, and we'll see where the gun ultimately lies. And by the way, you can store this on the back here by kind of clicking this onto the Grimlock arm like that, should you wish. If you are new to this mold, Grimlock, which started as the Studio Series Grimlock, 86 Grimlock, is a fantastic, well, not Studio, and not 86 Grimlock, is it? It's just, yeah, it is. The Studio Series Grimlock. is very, very nice. Like, I love this mold. You know, sure, we're getting a Megatron head on this. But this mold is awesome. I have multiples. If you haven't seen any of my reviews, we've reviewed all of the Grimlocks except for the current G2 blue one, which I think I will get at some point. Kind of waiting for a deal, to be honest. I just have so many, I don't want to pay full price for it anymore, if that makes sense, right? So, but this is a beautiful mold, and this is really nice colors for this mold. I really like it. You do get the gold feet here, Grimlock feet, which look really nice. I believe that's how they are in the regular version. Then you got a nice charcoal gray to signify Godzilla. A very nice color. I do dig it. But if you haven't seen this mold, it's, again, really, really nice. A lot of, like, you know, robot-looking parts. Silver feet on this one, which looks cool. I do dig it. Here's what the bottom looks like. Even on the inside, you get molded detail, which is cool. All through the back, there's no hollow bit. There's some hollow bits here, but, you know, you do get molded detail in there. All of this is nice and solid, though. All to the inside, so really nice on the legs for this Meg's Grimlock. You got silver paint over here. You got silver paint over here with some blue and red buttons, which looks cool. I like how the red looks around the silver on these things here. Then you get this really nice, like, clear, kind of like smoke-looking glass here. Not glass, but, you know, plastic. And then you get this, like, really cool Godzilla sticker on here. Godzilla Transformers. Why not? I don't know. I mean, if they can't do anything else, might as well brand it like that. It's a nice Godzilla silhouette, and Godzilla and Transformers looks really nice on there. Godzilla being the bigger highlight, that's fine, you know. I think it looks good design-wise as a designer, and that's nice looking silver. It's good. I mean, I don't mind this chest at all. On the shoulders here, we got some, you know, kind of design work. This is going to mimic. This is like tampoed. It's not stickers, it's tampoed. I know some folks saying stickers. No, tampoed on. This is, you know, to mimic kind of Godzilla's skin. You do get it in some parts that we'll see. The arms have a really nice sculpt on them throughout. We have red paint around here. The fists look pretty good. Here's the other side of that. Do have a little hollow bit here, you know, and that's where you're going to put the fist after, which is fine. On the back here, you do have just a, I keep saying Grimlock, but now, you know, I gotta say Godzilla head, right? And these parts, which kind of, like, look like wings. You can put these hands down if you want, or up, or whatever you want. It's your toy. And then you get more of that. We'll look at that, but, you know, this is usual for Grimlock. I do like it because it always, like, looks like a really cool, like, kind of super robot, you know what I'm saying? Depending on how you do it. So, it's really nice. It's a beautiful mold. But then we got a Megatron head, and which is very interesting. But again, I get it. I do have it. I thought it was a slit in the paint, but what it is this silver paint. Somebody erred and put a little, you know, little silver drip fell on his nose, or it could be a chip in the paint. Maybe this is the painted part that's gray. It's hard for me to tell, to be honest, even zoomed in, but I do have a little bit of that, which is a bummer. I could try to match this kind of off-white, you know, to color it out. We'll see what I do, you know. I will consult with the wife, who's a master of paint, on that, because I do want to fix that. It's like the one blemish that I found so far. But the rest of the head is silver. We do have black here. It just differentiates this as a, you know, a different type of Megatron. I don't know if it's supposed to evoke anything else. I can't imagine what. And I'm not sure where this Megatron head comes from. It doesn't look like the new Studio Series Megs. Maybe you guys can let me know. I'm like drawing a blank on where this head comes from. It could be something we've yet to get, or it could be something they just made for this, but I doubt it. Like, did they ever do that? Nah. So, I don't know. I'm not 100% sure. I don't think it's Studio Series, you know, just different colors, but because I feel like that one's skinnier. Having now seen the Studio Series pics of Megatron. But I think it's a good looking head. It fits well. Like, I'm wondering if they would have been better off making this the charcoal gray color. But the silver does look good, and there are silver bits here and around, so it's not like, you know, it doesn't fit. And the head fits on there very well. Like, it's matched up nicely, proportionally. It looks good. Like, it's a good-looking Megatron, you know? Like, it's a cool, interesting take and combo of Grimlock and Megatron. But, you know, I think it works. I think it's an interesting, real combo here. And again, the proportions look really good. And as for articulation on Meg's, head moves like this. Godzilla Meg's. Arms move like this. Ratchety up there. Swivel at the bicep. You have a bend at the elbow. You have a swivel at the wrist. I mean, you can move it forward like that too. If you pop that open. Swivel at the waist. The legs will give you a pretty full split. Then kicks forward, goes back, swivel at the thigh, single jointed knee, and the foot opens up pretty far for a rocker, but doesn't really go back and forth. So, you know, I mean, it's Transformers articulation, which, you know, isn't bad. You'll get them in a lot of poses. And for your size comparisons, first up, here it is with another one of these molds. This is a really cool Toxitron Grimlock. It's the only one I have in robot mode because I really like how it looks in robot mode. Yeah, I mean, it's very different. I mean, it almost looks like a completely different figure when you change the colors. But no, same exact mold. You know, the only differences are the head and the colors. These are beautiful colors, too. So gorgeous. But yeah, you know, like, I don't know. I kind of wish, you know, it was another Grimlock in a way. But at the same time, I don't know. That Megatron head is starting to grow on me. Here it is with Megatronus, one of the better Transformers we've reviewed this year. So you see the Megs here is bigger. And as for a trifecta of articulated Godzillas, here is Megatron-type Godzilla with an SH Monster Art, the Haya Toys, and a Super 7. I think the Super 7 is the only one that's going to scale, but, you know, we shall see about that. And last but certainly not least, here is Megatron Godzilla with Optimus Prime Mechagodzilla. And we'll have a lot to say about this one in its own review. But as you can see, Megatron a lot bigger than Optimus. Why? Yeah, I don't know. But with that all said, there's only one thing left to do, and that's transform and stomp out. Here we have our Grimlock Godzilla. And, you know, it's not 100% terrible. I mean, it's Grimlock, so, like, I like it. And these colors, it's pretty good. And like I said, you do get a lot of this Tampo print here that, you know, kind of mimics faux Godzilla skin. You get it over here. You get it on the chest here, on the sides as well a little bit. You get it on the head. He's got silver eyes, he's got gold teeth, silver and gold. You got the kind of reddish mouth, which is pretty cool. You know, this doesn't look bad. You know, the silver feet, and this kind of sort of mimic Godzilla scale, Godzilla dorsal fins. You know, I guess that's like the idea behind it. Now, you know, what I'm gonna need, third-party companies, I don't need a full thing. I just need someone to do. Look, you got a hole there, you got this notch here, and where this goes in, you got 2 notches. So make me like some faux dorsal fins that'll look better for this Godzilla. And make it more Godzilla-y, you know, like, that's, you know, really all I need. You want to give me other arms? You know, if it's not a pain in the butt to remove these arms, sure, let's do that too. But I feel like I don't need too much to evoke. I don't want to do like a wholesale, you know, change here. I do like the idea of it being Grimlock in a way, you know, like it's fine too. I've gotten used to that. But, you know, it is what it is. It's still a more Grimlock than Godzilla. But you do have some more silver here. I mean, it's a great mold. Like, if you don't have this, and you like, you know, Godzilla, this is really cool. Like, it's a really good looking mold, and Grimlock is something you should have in your collection as a Godzilla fan, in my opinion. It's always resonated for me. Over here, it looks amazing. Check that out. You're getting that now as well. This is translucent blue plastic with silver underneath. How cool does that look? And I love the design on this that they did. See that? That is very, very nicely done. Look at that. That's not on the regular Grimlock. That looks amazing. The paint that they did. This whole thing is painted on top of the clear plastic. And it looks really good, you know, to evoke that Godzilla-ness. So, I mean, with the limitations they had, I don't mind what ultimately they gave us, you know. Do I wish they gave us an actual Godzilla? You know, but with the limitations they had, I think they did okay. You know, they did their best. You know, it could have been better, but it is not terrible. And in this mode, you have articulation here in the arms, articulation at the shoulders, the head turns, the mouth opens and closes, the neck turns, I should say, then the head goes up and down. You don't have articulation at the waist. The legs have ratchet joints going forwards, not going out, but they do go out. Then you have the knee joints there, which is good. You have articulated toes, so that's not bad. Unfortunately, the tail doesn't really move. So, sorry, Godzilla fans. It is a small tail anyway. Chunky tail, but a small tail. But anywho, and you have silver in the middle here, which is not aligning properly for me, which is a little bit of a bummer. And then you have all that there. I don't know. I don't mind this guy. Like, I kind of like it. You know, it's always going to be in this mode for me, even though I kind of like that Megatron head. But this is where it's at, you know. This at least kind of evokes Godzilla. So, kudos to them. I mean, they had a job to do here, and they did it as best as they could. What are you going to do? Obvious limitations on what they could do. But they made the most of it, and they gave us something. I don't know. I don't mind it. I'm sure it, you know, that whatever edict came after they signed a deal. That's what I'm thinking. They signed a deal with Toho, and then they got slapped with whatever Bandai was cooking there. So yeah, that, you know, is a bummer. I wish this went in this way. Wouldn't that have made sense? I'm like looking at this and I'm like, man, an easy fix would have been good if they could have done this. Look, you almost have a connection point here. They could have gave us some new piece here to work, right? Bummer. There's no place to attach this. But that would have been really good. Maybe a new gun, third party, that does that. Look how easy that would have been. Oh, well. But yeah, it is not bad. I mean, for what it is. And even to further that for a second, like, if Takara would have put, like, one little, like, extra piece of plastic here, they could have just fitted in this hole and just connected it there like that. And then you have these things here that, like, definitely look like, you know, dorsal fins. I mean, it was right there, guys. It was right there. Like, it wouldn't have been that hard, I don't think, to add that to this instead of these notches. We don't need these. Just add it here. Like, redo the gun at least, right? Such a wasted, missed opportunity. And then, of course, you got this And then you put it back together. And, you know, you stick it in his mouth. There is a little notch there. You stick it in there. And then flame breath. And if you have more of these, you could, and there are more of them, you can make it even longer. I mean, he doesn't come with more of them, but if you're a Transformers fan, you know where to get them. But, yeah, I think that looks cool like that. It really does. And for your comparisons in this mode, here is Godzilla with Comic Edition Grimlock. So you can see, this is my favorite Grimlock, by the way. I love the Comic Edition one, even more so than the regular one. It's just so cool. But I really like, I really do like this Godzilla. It's just this. So close. And like before, here it is with our Godzillas. And obviously, these two don't scale. However, if we bring these guys together, let's take this out so you can see it a little better. He's a little bit bigger than the Super 7. So, yeah, you know, it is what it is. And last but not least, of course, here is Godzilla with Kiryu in his alt mode. And my final thoughts, look, honestly, I gotta give this guy a fair, you know, final thoughts here. What it is pretty cool. Under the circumstances, and there definitely were circumstances here, I think Takara did as best a job as possible with one caveat. Well, there's a little, you know, notch on the nose on Megatron, but that's just a little QC error. They could have sculpted us, you know, the gun a little bit differently. It was right there. Like, it wasn't that big of a deal. It's, you know, not hard to remake a gun. You know, have it attached like that. You know, I'll keep saying that. It was right there. You had dorsal fins right there, guys. And you missed that opportunity. Like, it was right there. So I'd say that to me is a mistake. But otherwise, that Megatron does look pretty cool on the Grimlock body, so not bad there. You know, the flame effect looks good in the blue. It looks good here. I think the tampo looks good on Godzilla. I think the neck paint is actually really excellent. I think that was a cool idea. And overall, I mean, as a Grimlock fan, to see it in, like, these Godzilla colors, I really dig. So, you know, it is what it is. I mean, look, we could complain till the cows come home, but there was obviously circumstances beyond Takara's control. I don't think Takara would have fumbled this otherwise, you know, based on their track. You know, like, I don't think they would have. This was too big of an opportunity to do so. So I do think it came down to probably Bandai doing the blocking here. And that's unfortunate. But given the circumstances, I do like this. I'm glad I got it personally as a fan of both. Do I wish I could have been able to use this as that bridging gap, you know, to bridge the gap between the Godzilla fans and the Transformers fans that watch my channel? I think that would have been really, really cool. But, you know, I think, you know, Godzilla fans, I think this is still something worth getting and something very cool and different for the collection. So, hopefully you dig it as what it is and enjoy a nice Grimlock figure, because this is a fantastic mold. And it doesn't look bad with what they did here. So, you know, on its own, not terrible. Could it have been more? Yes. You know, and this kind of bothers me a little bit. They could have done a little bit more with this. It was right there. But anywho, that's my review. I do like it overall, and I'm glad to have gotten it. Do stay tuned for the Kiryu Optimus Prime, and that one will be a little bit more, you know, whatever. At least this is a proper shape, somewhat. And there you have it, guys. That's my review. Hope you dug it. Let me know your thoughts down below. And if you're new to the channel, why don't you go ahead and sub yourself for daily content, and let me help you diversify your collection with some Transformers figures and Godzilla figures. Till next time, peace out, peeps.